Not too long ago, the devs hit us with another leak, revealing 5 new names, and the one that really stands out is Playtime Co. Wrong Side Outimals. Right now, that trademark sounds like straight up nonsense because we have no idea what it's even about, but there's a good chance this toy line is going to be the final one after Smiling Critters and Nightmare Critters, and it's probably going to be all about rejected or failed toys. And funny enough, 3 of the names that got registered at the same time as Wrong Side Outimals might actually be members of that final batch. And I'm talking about Giblet, Globy, and Lily Love Braids. We'll break them down more in another video that's all about the new characters. But besides that, we also got Chum Chompkins, who's most likely going to be one of the major characters in Chapter 5. Like I said though, I've got a full deep dive coming soon with all the leaks and teasers that have been hinting at the new bosses in Chapter 5. So for now, let's talk about Chapter 5 in more general terms. Starting from Chapter 2, the devs have been slowly preparing us for the prototype's reveal. Then, in Chapter 3, even more details pointed in that direction. But what stuck with me the most were Poppy's words.
They killed everyone. The guilty, the innocent, didn't matter. All that death didn't fix anything. The prototype has to die. For this. For everything.
Many people expected to see the prototype in Chapter 4, and videos on this topic racked up millions of views. To be honest, I was convinced it would happen too, but Chapter 4 didn't reveal much about him, aside from his silhouette. However, we did uncover a ton of other crucial information, not just about the prototype, but about Playtime Co. as a whole. Throughout Chapters 3 and 4, Mob Entertainment has been slowly preparing us for this long-awaited encounter, and with every hour of gameplay, we learned more and more. Based on the latest news regarding the prototype, we absolutely have to talk about Poppy as well. It's no secret that Poppy is our main ally. In Chapter 3, we started interacting with her more as she began revealing the history of Playtime Co. By Chapter 4, our encounters became even more frequent, and the build-up to the story's major events intensified. Now let's do a quick interactive segment. How do you think Poppy Playtime should end? Personally, I think it's pretty obvious. We don't need to dig too deep for answers. As Poppy has said many times, our main goal is to rescue the orphans and destroy Playtime Co., along with the prototype. And based on everything I've said so far, and what I'm about to say, Chapter 5 seems like the perfect place for that to happen. In Chapter 4, during our first truly serious conversation with Poppy, there's one incredibly important detail that practically screams that Chapter 5 will be the grand finale of our long journey.
The orphans weren't killed during the Hour of Joy. They were taken. They're below, in the labs. The prototype's home. They are alive, but sleeping. They're with him. And he knows we're here. So, if we're going to free them and stop the prototype, we need to plan for both at the same time.
Yes. You heard that right. It's not really about the plan or the orphans. Of course, the real attention grabber was the mention of the prototype's home, some kind of laboratories. Well, not just some labs. The prototype's main habitat is none other than the infamous Playtime Co. labs, where Harley Sawyer and the other scientists conducted their horrific experiments on both orphans and employees. Now, let's take a moment for a brief VHS tape segment. Listen closely and try to answer this question. Why did the prototype choose these curse labs as its hideout?
Tell them you're lost. They'll be glad to help. All right. Let's be honest. You're not supposed to be here. This is the single most high security, high clearance section of the whole factory. When someone finds you down here, you will be shot. And before you get any ideas, don't think you can just sneak away either. No, the second you put this tape in, it set off an alarm. So if anyone's home, they know exactly where you are. Pretty nifty, huh? Security is very important to us here. If I were you, I'd start running.
The answer is pretty obvious. First, as Leith Pierre himself said, this location is the most secure area within Playtime Co., and we need to understand that secure doesn't just mean heavy security. It includes traps, codes, massive doors, and countless other defenses. Second, the laboratories are the perfect place to conduct experiments. And who knows? Maybe the prototype has been secretly creating a monstrous abomination all this time, one capable of wiping out not just us and our allies, but humanity as a whole. After Hour of Joy, we know exactly how it feels about humans after all the experiments performed by the scientists. Alright, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. At this point, I'm 1,000,000% convinced that the laboratories will be the main setting of Chapter 5. And if we take into account Poppy's plan, one that involves confronting the prototype, then the chances of finally encountering it in Chapter 5 are absolutely, insanely, unimaginably high. We'll get back to Poppy and the prototype later since they're the biggest keys to answering the main question of this video. But for now, let's talk about Huggy, who has officially made his return. We all remember that Huggy was supposed to die at the end of Chapter 1, and even more than that, everyone knows that Huggy is the face of Poppy Playtime. This whole story started with him, and come on, wouldn't it be insanely cool and symbolic if it ended with him too? For some reason, I'm convinced that Mob Entertainment planned it that way from the very beginning. And just like that, you've got another reason why Chapter 5 is shaping up to be the grand finale of Poppy Playtime. Also, it's no secret that Huggy is one of the prototype's minions. His return could be yet another sign that the biggest mystery of Playtime Co. is finally going to be revealed in Chapter 5. But now, let's circle back to Poppy and the prototype, so I can fully convince you that I'm right about all of this. First, let's recall what Poppy said about how she felt after Hour of Joy.
I thought we were gonna leave. Leave the factory. Not this. All those people. Prototype says we can't leave. Not now. Not ever. I hate him. I hate him, and I hate this place, and I hate that he's right. He explained everything, and he's right. We can't leave. It's too risky. What they did to us, we can't ever let it happen to us or anyone ever again. Doesn't make me feel better about the bodies, though. What he was saying about them. I know there's not really another option. The toys will starve otherwise. They'll die. But it's still disgusting.
So, that's how we found out why Poppy's got such a hardcore grudge against the prototype. And at the same time, we got even deeper into the whole Playtime Co. backstory. But one of the most crucial moments in Chapter 4, no doubt, it's that convo between the prototype and Poppy, where we picked up a ton of new details.
This entire time, you've lied to me!
Only because you've kept missing the point.
I admit, though, I'm disappointed.
After all that time in your case, I'd hoped you'd see things differently.
Don't you understand?
It's always been about you
And we'll harm you. What we are. That's not a truth that can be brought away. It's time to come home.
I can't go back in the case. I can't. I'm sorry.
And of course, Poppy's escape and the total breakdown between us and the prototype was just the cherry on top of this madness. What can I say? The whole of Chapter 4 was setting us up for that big showdown with the prototype in Chapter 5, and that scene, it basically put a giant exclamation mark on that theory. That means all the remaining questions, which honestly aren't that many, will finally get answered in Chapter 5. And if we trace the red thread through this whole video, it's pretty damn clear Chapter 5 is gonna wrap up the Poppy Playtime story.